Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Islands Wednesday. So glad you're here with us. I'll wait for a few of you to sign on. We are Postcard Travel Planning coming to you from Tallahassee, Florida, the premier Tallahassee, Florida. If you haven't been to Tallahassee, you haven't been to Tallahassee. So not a lot here, a lot of colleges, a lot of families, legislators, capital, governor. Yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. So we got a good show tonight. Amy is off, so I'm covering for her right now. So yeah, we got a great drink of the week. I hope you guys seen the drink of the week go out. It's actually a fun one. I actually thought I posted it already, and somebody called me out on it, so I hadn't posted it yet. So it's a good drink. All right, so we are Postcard Travel. We're going to bring you the latest travel news. We do have a lot of stuff. I can zip through it pretty quick. And there's a lot of stuff that's really interesting that you need to know about, and some things that have happened that are pretty interesting. So, and you may notice I'm wearing a Gator shirt. I was tagged to wear this Gator shirt, so I have to wear the Gator shirt in Tallahassee, the Seminole territory. There's a long story behind it, but it all makes sense with one day. But all right, I'm wearing my Gator shirt. It is a nice shirt, by the way. I wear this on cruise ships, and gets either an argument, or people love it or they hate it. So it's one of those teams that everybody loves or hates. So, all right. So drink of the week. We have the chocolate banana bungee coming to you from Norwegian Cruise Lines. And you can see it. It's got a little off color. It has cream on top. It is made with banana liqueur, vodka. This one was Kettle One vodka. Which is what they recommend for this. Bailey's, and they put a little bit of something else on top. They do a special cream with grenadine, and then they cover the top. So it's a pretty amazing drink. So cheers. It's really good. It's coming to us from Aggie from India on Norwegian Jade. He was on Norwegian Jade in the O'Sheehan's bar. He is now gone to the Encore. So he's going to Alaska on the Encore. He's there now. So yeah, if you're going on Norwegian Encore, you'll see Aggie. He is amazing. He's probably one of the better bartenders. Really smart, really sharp. And when you see that drink of the week, you'll know why. He put a lot of attention to detail to that. Not to mention, he's the first bartender that while he was making this drink, he actually made another drink and then went over and handed it to a customer so they weren't waiting and kept going. It was simultaneously. It was, I was wondering what he was doing with the juice, but he made another drink for somebody else, kept going. So hats off to Aggie. He's amazing. Shout out to Norwegian. You need to give him a day off in the steakhouse, dinner, because he is amazing for you. So, all right, so running up some of the news we got going right off the bat. Let me see. So let's talk about this one, negative. So a 50-year-old man's gambling on Princess. So a cruise ship, and he loses $5,000 in the casino is what the story goes. He's with his family. Grandma's on the ship, and he borrows money from grandma to pay the debt. And he loses another $4,000. 10 miles outside Sydney, he decides to jump off the ship at like 4:30 in the morning. And he was not found at the time. So the families are blaming the cruise line for not having good, responsible policies. I don't know what to tell you. Amy and I and friends of ours, we have a system. So if you do like to gamble and you do sometimes get out of hand with it, you need to talk to us. Free service. We'll show you how to do it, why we do it, why we do the way we do it, why we make money most of the time we go. But sad for the family. I don't. Oh, yeah, there, I got you back. So I don't think the cruise lines are responsible for that. They have good measures for responsible gambling. It's like saying somebody drank too much because they did. So I don't know. There's just one of those things. Very sad for the family, but interesting story at best. And I got to tell you, for being upside down, whatever it was, is that worth dying over? I mean, you can always recover from that. So, all right. Well, sorry to family. Our hearts and thoughts go out to the family. Um, and that was on Princess Adventure, I think was the ship, Princess Adventure. So, in 10 minutes, geez, 10 miles outside from going home. So, all right. With that said, cruise industry growth right now is looking at 56 new cruise ships over the next 4 years. So we've been talking to you about this since COVID, that it was going to rebound even more. We knew it was going to rebound and be bigger, but we didn't think it was going to be this big. It is bigger than we could have ever imagined right now. Travel in general, not to mention cruising. So 56 new cruise ships predicted already scheduled to be built over the next 4 years. So yeah, nobody has any comments about the Gator shirt. That's pretty awesome. Either love them or hate them, right? Love them or hate them. So the other thing Amy wanted me to talk about is the Port Canaveral terminal. We talked a little bit about it before. They're building a multi industry cruise line terminal, which means that anybody can use it. They're starting to see that some of the big cruise lines are blocking out other opportunities for other cruise lines to come in. And so they're building a multi-use one. It's supposed to be state of the art, have a 3-passenger parking garage. It's going to have a flyway into Port Canaveral directly to that. It's going to be on the north side of the port. They're going to expand the port, the pier, so they can take even bigger ships. But they're going to allow other cruise lines to home port there. You know, the big ones, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, they all have it blocked up. Disney, they have a lot of it blocked up, which is fine. I mean, they pay for that and they deserve that. But they want to allow more of the industry to come in. And so that is underway, and it will be done in early 2026. So, okay, another story that's really hard to swallow. Don't have all the facts on it, but on Norwegian Encore, supposedly there was a crew member that was sick or injured, but was in the infirmary in the medical facility, and just went nuts. Grabbed a pair of scissors and stabbed the nurse, stabbed a passenger that was in there, stabbed security that came down, and then was subdued by security. And then eventually, this was up in Alaska, going from Seattle to Alaska. I don't know exactly where it transpired, but terrible story. Mental illness case, I can only imagine. But everybody's okay, other than being stabbed, they're okay. And the cruise line employee was arrested by the FBI. Actually, the FBI arrested him on federal charges. So interesting turn of events there. Fortunately, nobody died, but you just never know. I mean, mental illness, it can affect anybody, and we always think about the cruise lines being, or at least we do, how safe they are. You just never know the state of somebody. It's a very rare occasion. Never ever heard of that ever before. So very, very rare occasion. But Norwegian cooperating with all the law enforcement up there and with the FBI. So it's all being handled. So all right. So jumping over to Virgin Cruise Lines, Brilliant Lady is due to hit New York City in 2025. It's going to sail from New York City for 2 months, September through October. And that's their 4th ship. So I want to let me just tell you what their itinerary is going to be. If you want to go out of New York City on Virgin, might be the ship to do it on. 2025, September and October, they're going to be doing some New England cruises and some cruises south. And some of them are longer, 12, 13-day cruises. Then it's going to move in October through April of 2026. It's going to be out of Miami. So, right, it's going to do the summer, right, or over through the winter until April. And then it's going through the Panama Canal in March, late March, I think it is. Yeah, late March. Actually, that's the dates I got there wrong. So it's October through March, and in March it goes across. Then Los Angeles, it'll be April through May. And then Seattle for Alaska cruises, it would be May through September of 2026. So 2025 moving all the way across. So that's going to be the new ship coming in. They've got almost a 1.5 year schedule right there. But starting in New York, going to Miami, then going to LA, then going to Seattle for Alaska. That's going to be a really, really moving ship. And you can get the Panama Canal cruise in if you ever wanted to do that. That would probably be a good ship to do it on. If you haven't been on Virgin yet, they are a different style. We like it. They have made tons of improvements since they launched a couple years ago, and we've been on it twice. We haven't been on it in a little while. We plan on going back on it to see the updates and changes that they made for pretty much Americans. So the American market. Okay, Princess. They got as everything's expanding, Princess has vowed they're going to move 5 ships to Alaska, and that's starting in 2026. It's going to be the biggest demand ever. Oh, excuse me. They're in Alaska now. They're moving ships to Europe because of the high demand in Europe. So they got 5 ships they're going to ship over there in 2026. We heard this from Norwegian too. Norwegian was focusing a lot on Europe. The Caribbean market has been the #1 market. I tried to look it up and see if that's going to change a little bit. Europe was big for a long time, but it was never bigger than the Caribbean. Caribbean was always the biggest, but it may be shifting a little bit. But the whole industry is expanding. So Princess moving 5 ships, Europe, Spain, Barcelona, doing the Greek Isles, all over there. So if you want to get off on a Princess ship, there's going to be 5 up there. So changing some stuff. Also, Resorts World, they have 2 ships. I don't know if you remember us talking about that. Resorts World, it's a big corporation under Gentry Group. They built Resorts World in Vegas a few years ago. A lot of money sailing out of Asia. They're going to move a ship over to Dubai and sail over there. So that is in the works right now, and that will happen. So right now they're sailing Hong Kong to Taiwan, but they're moving a ship over there to Dubai next year. So you'll see a ship sailing out of there for them. Resorts World, I've never been on it. We haven't been on it. I don't think we've ever booked anybody on it, but they're supposedly like a unique experience. So if you look them up online, you can see. When we're talking about the expansion of the cruises, just to let you know, the last count we had was 314 cruise ships in the world operating right now. And the newer ships are coming out, although they are taking some out of service. But a lot of them, they're being reconfigured and put back in service, but they're bringing more efficient, more green, a lot of green new cruise ships for efficiencies and the environment. And of course, a lot of them holding more passengers. So they're getting bigger and more efficient. I guess there's some of them are Royal Caribbean, like we talked about 2 weeks ago. They're vowing to build smaller cruise ships now. They got a massive hold on the largest cruise ships in the world. So, yep. All right, let me see what else we got going. I'm reading here, see if there's any notes. Go FSU. FSU is going to be good this year. Their football team is going to be good. They got a quarterback, supposedly one of the top quarterbacks around in college football. He's like 6'5". He's already, I can't pronounce his name. It's got a very long name, like Udermalin or something, or Umble or something. But he is, I've seen him play a little bit. And from all accounts, he's like one of the top quarterbacks. So replacing Travis there, Jordan Travis. So Jordan Travis, got picked up with the NFL. So, all right. So go FSU. Yeah, we're going to see this year. All right. Carnival Cruise Lines. Let's talk about Carnival for a little bit. We love Carnival. You haven't been on Carnival in a while. It's good. There's a lady that booked a Carnival cruise presidential suite, and I don't have the ship. Sorry about that. I don't have the ship. But a year out, she booked it, and she was posting on social media. It was all great story, but she had her booking number out there, and she's excited about this. Booked a family in a presidential suite, probably once in a lifetime thing, right? Did not use a travel agent. So, with that said, you're going to learn why the story is important about a travel agent. So 2 days before she goes down there and there is no cruise, what happened was somebody created a fake account, used the booking number, and canceled the cruise. So she showed up, and obviously Carnival's saying, no, you canceled this. I didn't cancel it. I went back and forth, but she had no cruise. So Carnival Corporation decided to refund $10,000, which was what the price of the cruise. Problem is she's out a lot more money than that because of travel and all the other damages that were done and everything. So they're in some kind of dispute right now. She's refusing. Carnival wanted her to say that, we've taken care of the issue, and she said you didn't completely take care of it. So I don't know all the rest of it, but the thing with the travel agent, Amy wanted me to tell you all, that's another example. If you booked with Postcard Travel, one of our agents, that can't happen because Carnival will not cancel that cruise without going through the travel agent. So that's where the I'm sorry that they lost that deal and it's in a mess. But another example of, there's people out there, and supposedly Amy's explaining to me, she's been researching this, that this is a thing going around, that people are starting to do this. So be very careful out there. Be very careful about your booking numbers. It's okay to share what you're doing, how you're doing it, but don't put out your booking number ever, 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 unless it's a trusted travel agent or the cruise line themselves, because this can happen. So bad deal. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, the person was from Europe that created the bad account and did it as a joke thing. There wasn't anything to get money. It was just to ruin somebody's joy. Use a travel agent. Don't put your booking numbers out there. Okay, Royal Caribbean. If you're looking for a job, need a job, always wanted to work in the cruise industry, they're vowing that they're hiring 10,000 new employees to keep up with the demand. They have over 2 million more cruisers since 2019. So they're hiring shoreside and landside, but the shoreside only makes up like 10%. 90% of all the employees are at sea. So if you're thinking about that, so you only got about 10% chance to get a job on land, but they're hiring all around the world. Royal Caribbean's vowing to hire 10,000. They went to some country and excuse me, I don't remember what country they went to, but they went to Jamaica, a bunch of European countries in the Caribbean, like St. Martin for sure, Tortola, British Virgin Islands. So the Dutch, British, they looked at Jamaica. They asked Jamaica to ramp up at their college. They have some colleges that do travel industry training and classes, and they asked them to ramp up to try and get more people. But there's about 7 countries that they asked to do. Gambia, St. Martin, Jamaica, BVI, and then the Dutch Virgin Islands as well. So they did one test down there, and I guess with British Virgin Islands, they're hoping to get 1,000 new employees. They put advertising down there. They had people go down there. They got 1/3, like 300 people. So they are seriously looking for new employees. So if you guys are interested, if somebody out there always wanted to be on a cruise ship, now's your chance. Now's your chance to get on a cruise ship. All right, let me see what else I got here. Oh yeah, this is important. Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, which is Royal Caribbean. So California, Governor Newsom put out a new thing. He signed a bill into law over there that cruise lines will have to post all the fees up front. So you know how we get this all the time. If I know there's several agents that probably get on here, and if you're a travel agent, you know what we're talking about. So people always call us, oh, the cruise is only $5.99. No, it's not. Go all the way through to the end. Put your name in, put all your information, go to the final thing when they put port taxes, fees, taxes, whatever in there, then that's your fee. So he wants that all up front, which is not a bad idea. Actually, I'm not in disagreement of that. And Buttigieg just did that for the federal government with the airlines, which that's a whole nother story I'm going to talk to you about. But with that, the Royal Caribbean has now vowed they are on board. So you're going to see the booking. So when you go in now, you're going to be able to see everything right up front. Carnival started that last month, and it's going to be probably industry-wide because you're not going into California unless you do that. So they decided to do that across the whole fleet, regardless where they're sailing, to make it simpler and less complicated for the passengers. So hats off to Carnival, hats off to Royal Caribbean and Celebrity for making it simple. And people are going to choose anyway. So anyway, there's no more trick up to front thinking, oh, great flash sale, $5.99 a person. And then you go in there, it's not $1,200 to get on a cruise. It's $2,200 to get on a cruise with all the fees. So, all right. So that's that news. Any questions yet on that? So, Carnival, another thing across the industry, they finally got fully loaded Starlink. And so that means that they have good internet, high-speed internet across the fleets. It's fully implemented now, and we've used it before on other cruise lines, and it is really good. So Elon Musk Starlink is the way to go right now at sea. Right? I don't think there's anybody topping that. It's pretty good. So if you need to work from there, if you need the high speed, Carnival's now 100% on board. So speaking of Carnival, Venezia, which we went on, which we love the ship, by the way. Katie Rose, we love that ship. It was really, really fun taking that Costa Venezia, which has turned into Carnival Venezia Carnival Flare, Italian style. We love that ship. Well, anyway, they were doing the regular training drill in St. Thomas. They do emergency drills, as you know, if you've cruised, you know that. They run tests and all that stuff. Well, one of the crew members actually fell overboard into the water. It's fine. He was safe. They rescued him because they had boats in the water. They were doing their testing. But a real fire drill, emergency drill, safety security drill turned live in the middle of that. And they did announcements. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. We have a crew member in the water, and they were able to pick him up unharmed. Pretty awesome. It shows and proves that the safety drills work. Absolutely work. All right. We got anything else? Let me talk about the airline news because there's a really big deal going on right now. If you hit airline news right now, or if you go anything about the airlines, this is going to come up. So a transportation secretary, Buttigieg, had put out two different things. He wanted the airlines now to pay you for, like, if you're delayed so long. We talked about this, there's a whole show on this. And we talked about that you're going to get paid back, and there's no longer sitting there waiting. So if they delay you, they cancel you and all that stuff, you're getting refunded immediately. You're not getting, waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks. They have to refund you immediately. The other piece of that is they wanted the airlines to put all of the junk fees up front, bag fees, cancellation fees, seat fees, all that stuff up front. Everything was in place, but a group of airlines got together. I'm going to tell you who they are. They decided to sue the federal government. They filed a lawsuit, and Buttigieg is not happy. And you know what? I disagree with this one. So I side with Buttigieg. I side with our federal government because I think you all will do this as well. It's the same thing what's going on with the cruise line. And what did cruise line do? They accepted it. They made adjustments to make it better for the people. This is not better for the people. So American, Alaska, Delta, United, JetBlue, Hawaiian Airlines, they got a conglomerate together in a class action lawsuit and are suing the federal government, saying that they've overstepped or overreached. I don't think so. And I think the people it's just going to be a backlash for the airlines. I can't tell you. I'm going to predict that this is going to be bad for the airlines. I will tell you, when I was a kid and I grew up, when you flew, it was an honor to fly. It was respectable to fly. You were treated with respect. Everything was great. It was like you were taking a limo to New York City. It was like the best thing you could ever do. Now it just seems like it's always something negative, take away, charge, fees, baggage fees, double baggage fees, seat fees. It's just crazy right now. So being a pilot, I can actually speak on this, and I'm not comfortable with this. And I'm saying this is the wrong way. The cruise line industry had the same impacts from one state, Governor Newsom, California, and they decided to just do it across the board. So, and I think it's right. So anyway, I don't think that airline thing is handling it right, but that's just up to me. You guys choose. All right, celebrity cruises. So there's I don't have a lot of information on this, but I thought I would tell you about it because it really rings a bell with Costa Concordia. So there was a celebrity ship that cruised too close to Nepali coast, and you have to stay out 3,000 miles. and it went in so close, according to the reports, that it was stirring up the bottom. That's going to happen. Cruise ships, you could be sitting in 30 feet of water and it's 60 feet deep and it stirs it up. But anyways, supposedly they were like 1,000 feet off the coast instead of 3,000. I don't know what they're thinking. The navigation systems, you set them up, they're gonna not allow the cruise ship to go within 3,000 feet. It's not gonna happen. I mean, smaller boats that I've been on, like with the Coast Guard, you can set up the GPSs to set alarms off that you're in too shallow water, too close to something. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. But I don't have all the facts. What I've read, I researched it pretty well. When I talk, or if Amy talks, we don't just look at one article. We listen and we look at 4 or 5 to verify these articles. So anyway, Celebrity Cruise in trouble. They're going to look at fines, and possibly the captain may have to face fines and go to court. So I don't think nothing really wrong happened. But if you think about the Costa Concordia, that was a mess. I mean, people died over that because the captain decided to go deviate from the navigation system and so forth. So, all right. So that brings us up to the joke of the week. And we have the stocks too. So any questions out there? No questions so far. All right. So here we go. So the stocks right now, Royal Caribbean's at 140.64. Carnival's at 14.88, and Norwegian is at 15.72. Royal Caribbean right now, massive amount of ships out there and upgrades and stuff like that. So the 4 biggies, as you know, Carnival Corporation #1, Royal Caribbean #2, MSC is now #3, and #4 is Norwegian, and then everything else after that's a trickle to everybody else. So, all right. So the joke of the week, if we don't have anything else, the joke of the week comes to us from Gabby. I've got a joke of the week already scheduled for next week. I have a drink of the week already scheduled for next week. If you guys have jokes of the week or drink of the week you want to see, let us know and we will put it on the air and we'll send it. Okay, so the joke of the week. Thank you, Gabby. What do you give a sick alligator? It's a Florida joke. Well, Gatorade. What else would you give a sick alligator other than Gatorade? Thank you, Gabby. That was actually a good one. That's why I got my Gator shirt on. So now you know the whole reason behind it. All right, Amy will be back next week. We are on board. We do have a couple really good things that are developing right now that we're going to talk about next week. So make sure you're on. Tell everybody to get on because there's going to be a lot of news and some breaking news for next week that we have that we're going to be dealing with, and some group cruises and some cheaper cruises, some budget cruises that we're going to be able to launch. Yeah, so it's all good news. All right, stay safe, everyone. We'll be back. Amy's safe. She's just handling other business. Stay safe, everyone. Drink of the week. Bye. See you Wednesday. If you have jokes or stuff, or if you need help, send us an email. PostCard Travel Planning. Go to our website.